Hello guys, name is Michael and I just would like to comment on the three endings offered in Mass Effect 3 because it seems to me that the consequences of the endings are so far reaching that the writers who decided to go with this ending probably didn't even realize it. Otherwise I cannot really explain it. Bear with me. Okay, we get three endings. I will start with the most dismissive one straight away. The control. What is the main thought carried on through all three Mass Effect series? Yes, you cannot control the Reapers. Whenever you try, it backfires. It was proven by Saren, it was proven by Matriarch Benezia, it was proven by the scientists on the asteroid for arrival. Basically anyone who came into contact with Reaper tech in one way or another eventually succumbed. No matter how much precautions they took, how powerful they were, it might take longer, but in the end, the transformation was absolute. So this ending is ridiculous for anyone who has ever played this game. By doing it, you sacrifice yourself, maybe gain some temporary control, but in the long haul, it cannot work. Simply because we have played the game. We know it's not possible. Then there comes the synthesis. Synthesis? You know what I'm trying to say. The green ending. Let's go with colors. Even the BioWare named it in colors. So that was the blue ending. This is the green ending. For quite a long time I thought that's probably the best ending. But then something caught my attention. If you watch the scene again, when the child explains what is going on, the shepherd asks, "Is there going to be peace?" The child has probably a little longer pause than would be effective, and then carries on to answer altogether different question or something like, synthetics will bring the organics to the new level of evolution, as well as give the synthetics a new brand of DNA, whatever. He completely ignores the question, which hints to me, oh, this is not good at all. No, this only thing it does is it makes organics part machine, and machine part organic. Now, will somebody give me a definition of a Reaper? I believe it's synthetic organic hybrid. I might be going out of line, but even in that same scene, the shepherd defines organics as a species that can make their own choices. By choosing the green ending, you basically take the choice from everyone. You don't give anyone the choice on the subject, you just force it on everyone, like a true Reaper. I think that's, well, for Paragon player this option cannot be chosen, because you literally become a Reaper and turn everyone into its victims. I'm not sure about the implications in the effect, but what I see is Reaper leaving, Shepard dead, and everyone parasympathetic. So nobody had their say on the subject, the savior is gone and the Reaper slave. That's probably the worst ending after all. And then we get the destruction ending. The one the child so vehemently tries to discourage you from. Saying, oh, the true peace will not last. We bring the peace through destruction. We bring salvation through destruction. Yes, you know where I'm coming from. And, well, quite frankly, yeah, that's when you think about the other two opinions, you come to conclusion that this probably is the best ending. Well, then you have to stop for a minute, because what you are actually doing. Well, if you played it like me, then you have ED with artificial intelligence, who is already said that she would rather sacrifice her own life than let anything happen to Jeff, which means she's more human than any human. and you gave the Reaper AI to Geth, meaning they are true, they have the true intelligence in the hardware platform. So by choosing this decision, you have basically committed a genocide. So again, that's not a really very good ending, I think. And then there is the big implication that's true for all the endings. The mass relays get destroyed. Okay, I'm gonna go with the theory that when you hit the asteroid into Mass Effect relays, it destroys the solar system, but when you overload it, it actually does less damage. Yes, there was a sarcasm in my voice. But basically we cannot go on any other direction, so let's stay with this. But what does it actually mean? First of all, what is the defining characteristic of Mass Effect universe? Yeah, the Mass Effect technology. So basically you turned Mass Effect universe into the universe. I don't know. It's like if you had if like J.K. Rowling at the end of the book 6 had Dumbledore tell to Harry Potter, only way to destroy Voldemort is by sacrificing yourself. Oh yes, and by the way, by doing so, you will cancel all the magic in the world. You know, I think that's the level of ridiculousness that this implies. Yes, and we have to include that there are lots of people flying on the brooms, and when you do it, they will probably plummet to their death or something like this. So yeah, and even okay, fine. Let's get over this. Maybe BioWare wanted a universe, not the Mass Effect universe. But then we get to a secondary problem. Throughout the game, we visited multiple worlds, and some of them have been described as colonies that are fully dependent on bringing on supplies from other systems, simply because they were research bases, like Noveria, or because they were just starting new colonies, like Pharos. These colonies are fully dependent on the Mass Effect relay network for the supplies, which they will not get. And since the worlds are basically inhospitable, they will all die. You know, it's practically implied. Yes, there has been some discussion that the FTL drives will work anyway, and it's just gonna take longer. Well, let me remind you that it's been said in the game that about a dozen light years takes approximately 1 day cruise. There is not much specificity in this, but it would, for example, mean that getting from Earth to galactic core would take approximately 6 years. So basically we'd change the arrival distance from hours to months in the best case, years in the better case, and decades if you have to fly around the core to get to the other side of the galaxy, which would, for example, for the Geth world be, Quarian world be. Also, we cannot forget that they cannot run the FTL 24 hours a day. They have to plan the jumps to discharge the cores, thus making the travel even more complicated and long-term. And now you have to also include that all these Mass Effect cores are running on ESO, which is one of the most precious commodity in the universe. And as far as I'm concerned, there is not much of it on Earth. So all the ships there are basically stranded, which kind of sucks since all the armada of the whole galaxy is right now on Earth, considering they didn't fall when everything exploded, which they probably did. But let's say they didn't. So, to sum it up, I got Quarians and Geth to work together, so that the Quarians could return to their home planet, which they now will not see for at least 2 decades, If ever. I'm opting for never because I just don't believe that the ESO fuel stations are placed so strategically well that they will be able, through the jumps, to get home. So, yeah, that's ruined. Then I've cured the genophage, but since basically it was stated that all Krogans are warriors, and all Krogans arrive to my aid, so, yeah, they're not getting back to the Chanka. Yeah, and that's probably all I had to say. Basically, everyone is screwed. And somebody saying the ending was not so bad. I'm saying it sucked donkey ass. Even though I actually do have to admit on the positive note that up till that ending, I actually thought that honestly was the best game I have ever played. Seriously, ever. I have never felt so immersed in any story before. I probably have never. Well, I didn't cry, but I felt the eyes getting a bit wet when the Thane was killed, and I felt really great when Shepard stabbed the Asian ninja cyborg guy, Kai Lang, I think. Yeah, that felt really good. So yeah, the story was great, the cutscenes were great, the writing on most parts was brilliant. When Morton died, that was really sad, and well, now I just feel that screw it. I cannot play Mass Effect 1 or 2 again because why bother? It's gonna all go to hell anyways. Like, why did I release the Ragnar Queen? Screw it. Or especially, why did I fight at the Pinnacle Station for the retirement house? Shepard's dead, and he wouldn't be able to get there even if he lived according to secret ending, which is ridiculous in its own sense, because it's implying that he survived both the explosion of the Citadel and the following plummet down to Earth, unless it's the indoctrination theory is right, in which case I'm not sure if I would hate BioWare or love BioWare for the indoctrination move, but yeah, probably both. I would probably send them money and break their windows with a brick. Yeah, I would break their windows with a brick and pay for the repairs. Okay, have a good evening. Good night. Have a good evening. Good night. Have a good evening.